Could you provide us with a brief overview of your professional journey and what inspired you to specialize in your field?
Sure. So, by profession, I am a corporate lawyer and a chartered secretary. And to be honest, like initially when we started off in India, things are quite traditional, you know. Parents generally decide for the kids to be like go
Yeah.
this way or that way in terms of career. And both of my parents were as far away from law as possible, you know. So it
Okay.
seems
Wow.
like, um, but we had someone in the family, a relative who was very much ahead in terms of like career. He was the president of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India. He was the person who first established a chapter in the city where I was residing. So he was much ahead in this journey, and then he was the person who basically inspired me to take on the route of being a corporate lawyer and a chartered secretary. So and he was like he was someone who was like a mentor to many people, right?
Gosh.
So one of them obviously was me. Being in the family, I benefited a lot more from his guidance compared to other people,
Yeah.
and that's what made me take up the career. When I actually started learning through corporate law, right, and
Mhm.
transactions and everything, um, I remember that I approached things a lot differently compared to other people, and I'll tell you how. Like for example, people who were studying with me, they would like kind of do the journal entries in accounting. Like we this is like way back when we didn't really have softwares where you could just read
Yeah.
everything. Everything will be
All
done
that kind of things. Yeah.
yourself. You actually had to learn the concepts right at that time. So people would do the journal entries, and then the way I would approach is that like I would do the journal entries. From that, I will create a ledger. From that, I will create a trial balance. From that, I'll create a balance sheet, like the whole process. So,
Okay.
like my professors used to tell me that you got the whole sequence, like it's actually how it's done. So the focus was always on how do I implement this and make these things practical, right?
Yeah.
Even when I was studying for my chartered secretaryship, like most of the people would focus on passing and doing that, and I would be thinking that how do I actually implement this, right? So when I was studying for creating a company, like I would actually create the dummy documents and keep it ready for a fake company, just to
Yeah.
understand how exactly it's done,
Yeah.
right? So experimenting things, right? So and that is also something which made me get in with law sequel, because they had this approach of how to make things extremely practical,
Yeah.
how to put your knowledge, your legal knowledge to use, apply it directly, right? Rather than just have an academic layer first and then maybe slog for 2 3 years before you get the hang of it, and
Yeah.
then apply. Like why can't we make something that teaches application directly? And that's what attracted me towards it, and that's what made me join.